Hey YouTube, good to see you again. It's 2018 and this will be the year in which my band rabbitinabar wants to play out live a lot more than we did last year. And during the last gig I figured that filling with amp simulations on stage is not what I really want because the latency when switching from one preset to the other is immense, and you want to change on the first beat of a bar, but you have to hit the switch on the 3 of the bar before that. So that's not an option, I thought. And I tried using an overdrive pedal in front of my amp sim. So I figured it might be a good idea to have a small pedal board. I didn't want to spend a lot of money, and so decided not to buy a pre-made pedal board. There is things on which you put flower pots and which have wheels so you can cart it around. This is what I'm talking about. My mom gave me this, and I have to get rid of the wheels because they're not screwed in. They're actually, I don't know. I don't know how they fixed it. I have a screwdriver here, and I'm going to rip that off. And as soon as that's done, I'll be back. Well, I'm back. I've ripped the wheels off. This is what they look like. Made some massive holes in the wood, but yeah, they're gone. But instead, I put some rubber door stops on one side, as you can see, because I want the board to be at a slight angle. Next up, I put some Velcro on it, and then I show you what pedals will go on this. I chose not the most expensive ones. I mean, I don't have boutique pedals in the true sense of the word, but I have a Tube Screamer from the 90s. It was my first pedal. It's not an 808 or a TS9, it's a TS10, but still, they're sold for more than I bought it for back in the day. And why would I take that on the road if I have a replacement for it that's cheap and sounds good? Plus, I also have a Hudson Broadcast, for example. Maybe that is my boutique pedal. I don't want this to be on the floor in a small club where everybody can step on it. So I chose a couple of pedals that will do the trick. There's still some missing, but that's another story. Let's get to the Velcro. Here I am, I'm done. The thing is actually working. I tried it out, I powered it on. I couldn't test it because I don't have a speaker here with me. But I'm gonna show you what I did. Here's the board. I put some Velcro on it. The Velcro is actually not pedal board Velcro, it's just cheap Velcro that I bought on Amazon. Like, I don't know, 5 meters or so. It was about 10 bucks. The pedals that I'm using in the order of appearance is, first of all, of course, the Boss TU3 it is. I need this obviously to tune, but also to mute between songs. From there it goes into the drop, which I need for 1 or 2 songs, or actually 3. We have 1 song that's in a lower key. I don't want to lug around 3 guitars. I always like to bring a backup, so I'd have to bring a backup plus a guitar in a different tuning, and this is much more convenient. Apart from that, I also need an octaver in 2 songs, as far as I remember. It might be 3, which this can also do. From there it goes into the Digitech Bad Monkey. I love my Tube Screamer. This is a very good and very cheap replica. Even though I must say it's now twice as expensive as when I bought it. So if you want to buy one, they're only available used, and at the moment of filming, this thing costs about 50 bucks. I paid 27 euros for it. Now the power supply is the one that came with the drop. It goes into the tuner, which has a 9-volt output, and the 9-volt output is then daisy chained to the drop and to the Bad Monkey. There's still some space, and that has 2 reasons. Reason number 1, I want to put the amp on the board. You'll see why. It's a very small amp, and I can have everything wired up and only take the cable to the speaker and be ready. That's also why I have this multiple, what do you call these? Multi-plug this multi-plug on the board. The second reason is I need to stick some more pedals on here. I want to have a fuzz on it. I want to have a modulation effect, at least one modulation effect, or a multi-effect, I haven't decided yet, and some time-based stuff, either a reverb or a delay or both. I'm currently looking for good mini pedals, or at least affordable ones. As I said, this is going to be my cheap board, my small and cheap board. So I don't want to put pedals on there that are extremely expensive. Now for the amp, you might have seen this on my Instagram or on rabbitinabar's Facebook. I bought a new practice amp, which is the Joyo Bantamp. The Joyo Bantamp Meteor, which is their take on an orange amp. It's got a tube in the preamp section, and it's a solid state power amp. It fits perfectly on the board. See, which is really cool. Now I can have three scenarios. I can either have this as a practice amp. I can use this to power a multi-effect, for example, because it's got an effects loop. I can go direct into the PA system because it's got a headphone out, as I mentioned before. But I can also use my tube amps with my power soak. I've got a Palmer PDI-03, which actually turns the volume into heat, and it offers two types of line out. A frequency corrected line out, which sounds like almost like a 4x12 speaker cap, so you can go straight to the PA, or you can use a non-frequency balanced output or frequency corrected output and have that feed an effects device, and I would use the small amp then to make it louder again, because let's face it, an old Marshall or a Fender only sound really good when cranked at least a bit, but then in small clubs or at home it gets unbearable. It's way too loud, it blasts your head off. I mean, I know there's some bands who do that, but that's not my cup of tea. So I bought this PDI-03 years ago, only to find out later that, for example, Joe Bonamassa uses the same or used the same. So I used that for recording for years. So now I want something small and light that I can take with me on the go. But I want to have the option to use these tube amps as more or less as preamps, because both amps that I own, it's a JMP from 1978 and the Fender Bassman 70 from 1979. Both, of course, don't have an effects loop. So if I want to use time-based effects after the preamp section, I have to use a line out, which the PDI-03 provides. So I can then run my time-based effects, and after that I can use this as a more or less as a power amp. There's one more thing I forgot, I just realized. I bought a handle for this, and I just have to attach it so I can actually carry this around. Of course not with the amp, which has got its own handle. But apart from that, I think the beast is alive. I powered it on, it works. As I said, I can't use it, can't demonstrate it yet, because unfortunately the small speaker I want to run this amp into hasn't arrived yet, so I have to wait until that comes. When it's here, you get a sound demo. See it first here. Hope to see you soon. If you like this video, if this was helpful, please subscribe, tell your friends. If you don't like it, don't tell your friends, but still subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. See you soon. Thumbs up. Who is your savior?